Alright, so before we get into this, let it be understood that there are two styles of play when it comes to Commander, really. And that is kind of sitting back in the background, even sometimes at main, and strictly just using your map and calling in support and ordnance according to what your squad leaders want. My typical style isn't that. I tend to be on the front line, and that's just me. This is just going to be a simple guide, a how-to guide, but you can play the game however you feel. In this clip particular, I'm going super aggressive. We had been held at the first point all game, and I finally managed to slip this MSP across the bridge, and we're going all in. We gotta defend that MSP with our lives, dude. If you're out of play, like way up north or way south, type respawn on your console. Respawn on the new MSP. Let's do one last hoorah. We're gonna get this point, boys. If it means hold on, medic, I'm gonna get you. Fuck, I'm hurt. I need a patch as soon as you get done.
So we should have done in the first place. Close to the river bank. There's a bunch of them.
Get down! Come on, we gotta get this point now.
Watch out.
I'm getting you.
Don't die, don't die.
Get to the point, boys, get to the point. Like I said, though, it's not always wise to be up on the front line. Again, this is just a desperation play right here. How about this? Alright, so first things first, you're going to want to set up a sort of base of operations. Well, it's nighttime and we're playing on the map best, so I want to have a good view of the whole battlefield. And what better than the tower at the church? Up there, I can see the entire battlefield. I asked a squad leader to send a radio up to me so that I can call from the tower itself. You're going to want to be sure to remind squad leaders of all the basic things, because squad leaders have the hardest job in this game. So you're going to want to be telling them to, reminding them to make marks. Always tell them sloppy marks are better than no marks. Make marks. Hold down the T button. Just throw down a mark if you get shot at. It's seriously, just look down, hold down the T button, look down at the ground, and throw down an infantry mark. That way, other people know. The map is the best way to communicate. You must use your map, making marks and reading marks. It is the best, most efficient way to communicate in this game.
A couple guys on trenches.
Radio men and medics both give binos, so make sure they're using them. As soon as the radio man makes a contact report, I confirm it and slap down a mark. Find a big cluster of them. Right here, I'm trying to put a mark down in the kind of the foreground and a mark kind of in the background, so I can put the Artie between those two marks. All right, I'm gonna call Artie. All right, so here we go. I'm ready to call in fire support. First thing I do is press enter to bring up my map. Then, before I actually call it in, I'm going to right-click and make a mark with the blue text on the left. I will click on the artillery and pop down a mark. That'll let the rest of the team know that don't go near that mark because artillery is coming. And it's going to be bad if you get it near that mark. Boom. There it is, the blue mark. That'll let everybody know, don't come near. Now let's say I was doing a gun run or something like that. Be sure that you know that you can set the direction. So after you click the gun run, you can then click on the little compass in the direction you want the gun run to come from. This is really helpful if, say, you want the gun run to go down a trench or down a certain hedge or something like that. But we're not exactly doing a gun run, we're doing artillery. So I just right click on that blue mark that I have that's there to notify my whole team that artillery's coming. I'd right click on it, I select artillery, and in the artillery tab you can choose between high explosive rounds or smoke and white phosphorus rounds, as well as the spacing between the impacts and the amount of shells delivered. Also notice that you have the amount of rounds total down there in the bottom. I'm going to do just a basic regular salvo here, so I just click on it, click the HE artillery, and I'm going to use the regular spacing, which is 125 meters, and the regular amount of rounds, 8 rounds. I just click it, and then click accept, and it's on the way. Alright, already coming in. Already coming in, check maps. Artillery's coming in, I repeat. Oh, taking shots, get down. Notice that I repeated myself. When calling our artillery, you want to get on the command radio and let them know that it's coming more than once, because squad leader has a busy radio and he can't always hear. So always say, artillery is coming. I repeat, artillery is coming. Check your maps.
Does anyone need a tank?
The MSP to the rear needs to be moved for the hill. The MSP to move to O2, tell your guys.
Already just ruined their day. Alright, now as for being commanded, if you have a competent commander who's given a legit shot and is trying to coordinate the battlefield, you have to take his orders and do as he says. You being a squad leader, you won't be able to see the battlefield that he sees, and he's going to have an overall view and an overview of what's going on. You have to kind of just trust him, and if you obey the commander's orders, I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be what's best for the team. Now, I understand when you have like free weekends and noobs and all this, that, and the other, but generally speaking, you really got to just give the commander a chance. Blindly follow his orders. 9 times out of 10, like I said, it turns out for the best for the team. This clip here that I'm about to show you, there was a lot of disobedience, and we wound up getting pushed back on an advanced and secure layer. We were pushed back all the way to our second point, almost to our first point, and we got desperate. So I decided to call in everything. Literally 3 gun runs, 2 bombs, all the artillery, and all the smoke, all at once, and for one last final push. And you can see, I wind up leading the charge. It's kind of ridiculous. Notice that when I'm placing my gun runs, I'm selecting the outside of the building. I'm putting one in the courtyard, I'm putting one to the west of the building, and one to the east of the building, because gun runs do not penetrate buildings. Now, mosquito bombs and Stukas do penetrate buildings, so I set my 2 bombs on the buildings that are facing the attack we are about to push. Notice I'm placing my smoke barrage last because it's the one that comes quickest. It'll come sooner than all the other assets. Alright, look, when this smoke hits, everybody's pushing. When the smoke hits, everybody's pushing. Get ready.
Good.
Alright, here we go, guys. Here we go, guys. As soon as the smoke hits, here we go, here we go, here we go. Smoke is here. Time to go, time to go. Get in the trench. I noticed this little trench to cover our approach, so I slapped down a mark. Use the trench at the smoke signal, the smoke mark on the map. Use that trench right there. Run all the way in. Follow me. Follow commander, guys. Follow commander. Here we go. Follow me, boys. Follow me. Let's go. All the way in. All the way in. How are we fucking alive?